Thank you very much for the opportunity to present in front of you our ideas for IoT mission. Our first idea is related to water level and quality monitoring, more specifically underground water. Underground water is among the most important drinkable water reserves on planet Earth. It is also the source of rivers as well as the only source of water for some villages in Bulgaria. Oftentimes, one village is gaining its water resources purely through spring boxes that collect underground spring water. During summer months, many places in Bulgaria face water shortages, and the problem becomes particularly prominent in the last 4 to 5 years, when the snow rain in the country became scarce. In such events, the villages relying solely on the underground water reserves need to implement measures for better distribution and sometimes even water regimes. The water level monitoring will help the respective official body to make informed decisions about the water distribution timely and with greater ease. Currently, the affected municipalities need to go to the reservoirs kilometers away from the villages several times a day in order to monitor the levels in the affected reservoirs. Furthermore, it has become clear that the chemicals used in the agriculture affect the soil, and through the soil they reach underground water, and then they pollute the drinkable resources for villages and cities. Monitoring such changes will allow timely measures in any affected areas and provide opportunity for better quality control of natural resources. We propose such sensors to be placed at key points in the predispositioned areas around villages, spring boxes, and agricultural fields. The monitoring during drought could be 3 times per day, and for regular usage once per day. Each sensor will send the information in up to 16 bytes as a base level, and depending on how many factors will be monitored, it could be higher. The number of sensors will be dependent on the selected region and the specific purposes. As a base proposal, we suggest 10 sensors on key points. This project will also help understand and monitor the effects of global weather changes and give a better perspective of how the rising global temperatures affect our drinkable water hidden under the soil. It will also help eliminate and lower the factors of agricultural chemical usage by early warning for any potential poisoning of drinkable water. Since this affects many people and even the world at large, we have proposed it with highest priority. Our second idea is related to saving people who are in distress in remote regions. In the mountainous terrain, it is hard to have a reliable GSM coverage at every corner, and it is also the place where you can easily find yourself in a dire situation. Since the terrain is uneven and hard to walk, a broken leg can turn a relaxing day into a life-threatening situation if no one is around to help you. Also, sometimes people just lose their way and find it hard to orientate themselves. In such a situation, a rescue team needs to locate the people as fast as they can. This will be really hard if the people who are in distress can send a message with their specific location, and such a situation sometimes leads to days in search for those in need. But if the health is also affected, even minutes could be of huge difference. This is why an SOS signaling through satellites is important. There are several developed devices on the market, and efforts are put into making phones able to connect to the satellite directly. Sorry. One such satellite could be seen on the picture held by a man in the wilderness. Another way that this could be made is to apply the antenna to the clothes or the backpack, as seen on the left bottom. This technology could be further developed by making them able to connect to a smartphone or smart ring to monitor the life tracking indicators and make them send an SOS signaling automatically in case of critical levels of the life indicators. And if the person loses their consciousness, it is also unable to send the signal on their own. In order to send just the basic coordinates of a human with such tracking device, 32 bytes of data need to be sent as often as possible. So even if the person disappears, the live position of the device could be tracked. This will allow the respective organization to gain at least a relatable, at least a relative region in which the human will be searched. In case of emergency and the SOS signaling activation, 228 bytes per sensor are needed to determine not only the detailed position with the latitude, but also the live tracking indicators, so the life-saving organization can make the best decision for the actions needed to be taken. Since this problem occurs in every country, it is related to life-saving actions, we also placed it with a higher priority in the list. Our next idea in the proposal is related to smart farming. Smart farming allows for higher production per square meter of land by monitoring the soil moisture and the quality, sun exposure, and depending on the selected type of sensor, high air quality as well. There are several available products on the market, and they can be further developed for proper land care based on the soil and specific crop type. Due to the changes in the global weather, we are already seeing the effects of agricultural regions around the world, and it is hard to rely solely on the tested and proven methods of the past. The seasons are changing their starting and ending points. Less snow and higher summer temperatures affect the seeded plants, and the need for better on-time measures in order to see better results in food production is definitely something that is needed. Since human population is constantly rising, it is also more important than ever to make the best possible care for agricultural land. It should be taken into consideration the terrain, the soil type, the crop type, and other factors when determining the specific choice of sensors numbers. For a base proposal, we have selected 10,000 for 10 by 10 kilometers by field. Each sensor will send around 14 bytes of data, and during the crop growing periods, 2 or 3 times per day are best to have the data checked. In general conditions, once per day is enough. This will also help farming industry be better prepared for any upcoming weather changes, as well as give more accurate perspective of the exact needs of the plants. We have selected a priority of 3 for this idea. Our last idea is related to monitoring terrains with potential landslides. Landslides are hard to predict unless you have sensors to inform you of their potential activation. In Bulgaria, during the more rainy seasons, such as spring and autumn, landslides get activated, and sometimes this leads to leaving main roads closed or even damages people's properties. Regardless if the slopes are rocky or just soil, the results of landslides could be devastating and even endangering people's lives. The proper care of slopes by plant co-ops or by informing the people who can be in danger in advance is necessary to mitigate and lower the consequences. We suggest sensors with 10 bytes of data each and send the information daily in case of general monitoring, and when the slope is made of rock or in case of heavy rain to monitor it as often as possible. The number of sensors is hard to determine as it is very specific to the type of terrain. We have selected a level 2 of importance of our proposal for this idea. Thank you very much for listening.